Have you ever wondered why some people work hard every single day and still can't seem to get ahead? They clock in, they clock out, year after year, and somehow the money situation never really changes. Maybe you've felt that way yourself. Here's something interesting. There's a verse in the Bible that a lot of people have read, but almost nobody stops to really think about what it's saying. And when you look closer, it seems to point to a reason why some people stay stuck in that same tight money cycle, no matter how hard they work. Now, I want to be honest with you here. This isn't some magic formula. I'm not saying this is the one and only answer to money struggles. What I want to do today is share a perspective, one way of looking at an old verse, and let you decide what you think about it. So stick around, because by the end of this video, we'll get to that verse together. Let's start with something simple. When we think about why some people struggle financially, we usually blame the outside stuff. The job market, the bills, the economy. And sure, those things matter a lot, nobody's denying that. But there's another angle worth thinking about. What if part of the struggle isn't just about how much money is coming in, but about the habits around that money? Things like not having a plan, making quick decisions without thinking them through, letting small opportunities slip by without noticing, not really knowing where the money goes each month. From this point of view, it's not just about circumstances. It's also about how we handle what's already in our hands. And that idea shows up in an old piece of writing that's thousands of years old, but honestly, it still feels relevant today. So here's the verse. It comes from the book of Proverbs, chapter 27, verses 23 and 24. It says something like this: "Know well the condition of your flocks, pay attention to your herds, because riches don't last forever." Now, back when this was written, having herds of sheep or goats wasn't just a hobby. That was someone's whole livelihood. That was their income, their savings account, their retirement plan, all wrapped up in living animals that needed daily care. If you ignored them, ran off chasing something bigger before taking care of what you already had, you could lose everything. So when this verse says pay attention, know the condition, it's basically talking about paying close attention to what you already have before trying to grow it into something more. And that idea doesn't feel outdated at all when you swap out sheep for a paycheck, a small business, or a bank account. Let's break this down into 3 simple ideas that seem to be hiding inside this verse. The first idea is this: know exactly what you have. A lot of people can tell you how much they wish they made. Way fewer people can tell you exactly where their money actually goes each month. This verse seems to start with something really basic: awareness. Not guessing. Not hoping. Actually knowing. The second idea is this: take care of the small stuff before expecting the big stuff. There's a pattern here that shows up again and again. Handle what's small and steady first. If someone can't manage a little bit of money well, it's fair to wonder if they'd manage a lot of money any differently. And the third idea is this: don't put all your trust in today's income. The verse reminds us that riches don't last forever. Jobs can change. Situations can shift. This isn't meant to create fear. It's more like a gentle reminder to build something steady on the inside: wisdom, good habits, patience, instead of leaning completely on one paycheck or one source of money. So how might these old ideas actually help someone break out of a tight money cycle today? Let's talk about some practical ways this could show up. One is simple discipline. Not spending everything the moment it comes in. Giving yourself a little space between earning and spending. Another is paying attention to waste. Small leaks, little unnecessary spends here and there, they add up more than people realize. Another is managing well what you already have, even if it feels small right now. Taking care of a little bit of money with the same seriousness you'd want to take care of a lot of money. And another is simply showing up with consistency and effort, day after day, even when progress feels slow. From this perspective, the Bible seems to connect growth with patience, steady effort, and trustworthiness, more than with luck or one lucky break. There's a story that fits really well here, the story of a young man named Joseph. Now, Joseph didn't start out in a good position at all. He was sold away from his family and ended up working as a servant in Egypt, about as far from wealthy and comfortable as you can imagine. But here's what stands out. Wherever Joseph was placed, he took care of things carefully. Even in a hard situation, he handled what was given to him with real effort and attention. And slowly, bit by bit, He was trusted with more responsibility. Eventually, he ended up managing resources for an entire nation. His story is a good example of this same idea we just talked about. Taking care of what's small and present, even when the situation isn't ideal, seems to open the door for bigger responsibility down the road. So here's something worth sitting with for a moment. Is the real issue only about how much someone earns? Or could there be something deeper worth looking at, the way resources are actually being handled day to day? What would change if every dollar, every hour, every little opportunity was treated as something meaningful, instead of something to rush through or ignore? This isn't about guilt or pressure. It's just an invitation to look at things a little differently. So let's bring this back to where we started. Maybe income struggles aren't only about the number on a paycheck. Sometimes they're connected to the way resources, time, and opportunities are being treated along the way. This old verse seems to point toward something simple. Paying attention. Taking care of the little things. Not placing all your hope in one source of income. And staying consistent, even when growth feels slow. If this idea is put into practice, little by little, it might just be one part of breaking that tight, stuck feeling that so many people experience. At the end of the day, this is just one perspective drawn from an old piece of writing, not a guaranteed formula. But it's worth thinking about, paying attention to what you have, taking care of it well, and building patience before chasing something bigger.